right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Thank you for staying in there with us for game one, game two, and now game three, the final game of the evening to decide which of these teams will advance to tomorrow's championship game of the New South Athletic Conference as the Virginia Peninsula Community College Gators prepare to take on the Mustangs of Mid-Atlantic Christian University out of Elizabeth City, North Carolina. Again, Howard McCain here giving you the play-by-play of this evening's action. Dave Davenport is our engineer producer, and this should be a good one, folks. If it was anything like game two, which just finished up between the Builders and the Thoroughbreds of Blue Lights College, this one should be just as good as we saw. The Apprentice School advanced to tomorrow's championship game by winning over the Thoroughbreds by a score of 97-88. So next up, it's Coach Charles Sims and his Mustangs from Mid-Atlantic Christian University and Coach Christopher Moore, Gators from Virginia Peninsula Community College. Both teams' starting lineups have been introduced, and they will be making their way to center court to tip this semifinal game off here momentarily. But first, the officials for this evening's final contest. Frederick German, Dawood Mills, and Gabe Hall will be in charge of the action once the ball is in play. Game three to decide who will play for tomorrow's championship for the New South Athletic Conference basketball tournament against the Apprentice School Builders. This should be a good one. We're looking forward to it. Hope you are as well. Prior to this evening's game, there were some honorees for the Mid-Atlantic Christian University Mustangs that were recognized. So we'll kind of work that into the broadcast and let you know who those players are and what those awards and accolades were, as both teams had players this season that were recognized by the conference. So both of the representatives for each team are at the center logo, the AS and the anchor at center court, and we are underway. Gators win the opening tip. Basketball first handled by Jalen Harris. We'll work in the starting lineup as the give goes inside. Harris starts the game off with a three. It's no good. He's joined on the floor by Quashawn Brevard, Javion Majette, Keyshawn Johnson, and Makai Reed are your starting five for the Gators as we get an opening foul on the Mustangs' first possession, as that foul call will go on Quashawn Brevard. Quashawn Brevard's first personal foul, the team's first. As the Mustangs work against the man-to-man defense by VPCC. Ball goes inside off the glass for two. And that's Nolan Richardson Keys. He's joined on the floor with Jeremiah Dickerson, Makai Colburn, Talik Totten, and Jaheim Hinton. Round out the starting five for the Mustangs of Mid-Atlantic Christian University. Again, they hail from Elizabeth City, North Carolina, while VPCC right here in Hampton. So that's a turnover against the Gators. So the Mustangs will try to get it across the timeline here. And they do. All the way to the basket, but having his shot blocked. So that's Micah Colburn who has his shot blocked. Long three-point shot comes off to the Gators, and Brevard tried to feed it inside, tapped out of bounds by the Mustangs, so the basketball will stay on this end. 18:36 left. Mustangs with a 2-0 lead in the basketball game so far. Again, semifinal action of the New South Athletic Conference as that ball is swatted out of bounds by the Mustangs. That's Nolan Richardson Keys, who was one of the honorees before this evening's contest. We'll let you know what his accolades were, as that shot goes down for three. Jalen Harris and the Gators have now taken the lead 3-2 over the Mustangs. It's Colbert. Works against Brevard. Here's Totten. Totten was actually the MVP of the league last season for the Mustangs. So the Mustangs take a 4-3 lead over the Gators. As the Gators settle in, I'm sorry, not the Gators, but the Mustangs settle into a matchup zone. Gators finding it difficult to find a penetration lane inside that defense. Rebound comes off to the Gators. Gators unable to convert. Defensive rebound comes off to Richardson Keys. 4-3 Mustangs of Mid-Atlantic Christian over the Gators of Virginia Peninsula. Here's Colbert, reverse layup, no good. Colbert on the floor, Gators with numbers. Nice job of splitting the defense, but unable to convert was Majette. Reverse layup, still no good by the Mustangs. Mustangs able to get to the basket, but that's two reverse layups that come away with nothing as we get a tie up off of the rebound. So the possession arrow is in favor of the Mustangs. So the basketball will stay on this end. So as I said for the Gators, Javion Majette is a defending MVP. Well, not defending. You don't really defend an MVP, right? You just awarded an MVP, but Mustangs able to convert on the offensive end, and they push their lead up to 6-3 over the Gators as Harris. His shot comes off to Richardson Keys. That three-point attempt in and out for Totten. Totten honored before the game. He was named to the, we had a spillage right here by the scores table, so it's going to remain Gator ball as Totten was named to first team all conference for the Mustangs. As Brevard marks out the play for Coach Christopher Harris and Christopher Moore. Coach Moore already in his fourth season at the helm for the Gators. Near turnover that time. But nice job of collecting and hitting the long-range three was Majette. So Majette picks up his first basket of the game as the quick hands by Harris poked it away from Totten. So the basketball goes out of bounds, and we're going to take a timeout. Media timeout, folks. We are tied 6-6 here at the Apprentice School Athletic Center as the Mustangs of Mid-Atlantic Christian University take on the Gators of Virginia Peninsula Community College. And Coach Christopher Moore, successful season with the Gators, 11-9 overall this season, 4-3 in conference play. They are actually the defending conference champions coming into this semifinal matchup between Coach Charles Smith, whose team went 12-10 on the season. They were 6-3 in conference. This is his first year at the helm for the Mustangs, doing a fantastic job. As we take a look at some of the stats, not a lot of time has elapsed on the clock. Only about 4.5 minutes of action has taken place here in this semifinal matchup. But as it goes right now, only two players have scored so far for the Gators. That's Jalen Harris. He knocked down a three, along with Javion Majette, both with three. For the Mustangs, again, Mustangs coming into this afternoon's or this evening's game, they're the number 2 seed right behind the Builders, while the Gators are the number 3 seed. Mustangs, right now, their leading scorer is Noah Richardson Keys. He has 4 points. Not a lot of shots taken, so shooting percentages aren't really reportable at this moment, but we'll keep an eye on it as the game continues. 6-6 is our score. Mustangs attack the basket with Noah Richardson-Keys. So for Richardson-Keys, that is his 6th point so far of the evening. So he has the majority of the points now on the board for the Mustangs. Gators back on the attack. And we're going to get a reach-in foul call. It's going to go on Jaheim Hinton. For Jaheim Hinton, that is his first personal foul and the team's first. Of course, no shots. Tried to work the basketball inside to Keyshawn Johnson. Keyshawn Johnson was actually second team all-conference for the Gators. Brevard. Shot blocked. Shot clock does not reset, so it's only 5 seconds remaining. As the feed goes inside, and the shot is up and good for Keyshawn Johnson. Didn't expect Keyshawn Johnson to stay quiet for too long in this basketball game, and we're now tied 8-8, 14-42. Left in the first half. Jump stop. Gators wanted to travel, but instead they get a block. But there's a foul. That foul call is going to be on Javion the Jet. That is his first personal foul and the team's second. So that will send the Mustangs to the free throw line to shoot two. That Jeremiah Dickerson, the 6'6" sophomore out of Greensboro, North Carolina, gets his first point of the evening. Jalen Jones will make his way into the basketball game, giving Jaheim Hinton an opportunity to rest up. Second and 2, rims out. Gators back on the attack with Majette. Gators decide to slow things down just a bit. So as you can see, neither team really, so far early in the basketball game, don't do a lot of transition, kind of grind things out in the half court, which a lot of times leads to a much slower paced game and a lower scoring affair, as this corner three misses. Rebound comes off to the Mustangs. So Jalen Jones records his first rebound of the basketball game. Jones with the basketball. Shot inside, no good. Rebound taken by Richardson-Keys. Here's Jones for three, and he nails it. So the Mustangs extend their lead now to 4, 12-8, 13, a little bit under 13 and a half minutes left in the first half. Again, these teams trying to decide who will take on the Builders tomorrow. And it looks like the Gators are trying to stake their claim as Harris hits from three. So 12-11 is the score. Jones from the corner. His second made three basket of the first half. Really, he's only been in the game for a couple of minutes, and he's quickly come off the bench and scored 6. Gators may want to think about guarding that guy. Shot clock now with 15, plenty of time. Gators pulled the trigger anyway. Back with the basketball is Dickerson. Here's Richardson-Keys. His shot blocked by Keyshawn Johnson. So the basketball will go down to the other end of the floor as both teams make substitutions. DeJoy Lambert will make his way in for Mid-Atlantic, while Jaquan Majette will make his way into the basketball game for the Gators. Mustangs 15, Gators 11. Corner, three from Harris. Off the back iron. Here's Lambert. Lambert weaving. through the defense, got all the way to the rim, thought he was fouled, but instead a fast break opportunity for the Gators. Beautiful feed inside with the basketball for the easy layup off the glass for Mekhi Reed. Coach Charles Sims barks out the marching orders for his team on offense. He's in his first season at the helm for the Mustangs. And we get a tie-up. Possession arrow is in favor of the Gators, as Brevard was able to get inside, tie up the basketball between himself and Dickerson, and the Mustangs turn it over. So 15-13 is the score. We're at our first timeout, media timeout, 11:39 remaining in the first half here of game 2 of the semifinal action between the number 2 seed and the number 3 seed to decide who will play the Apprentice School Builders tomorrow for the right to call themselves the champions of the New South Athletic Conference. As we take a look at some of the early stats in the basketball game, usually the first 5 minutes of a game and the first 5 minutes of the second half kind of give you some indication of how the basketball is actually going to flow. Right now, Jalen Jones is the leading scorer for the Gators. He has 6. It is Majette who currently is the leader as far as rebounds go. He has 3. They've only turned the basketball over 2 times. Right now, the Gators are shooting 32%. They are 5 of 16 shooting, 3 of 7 from three-point land. That's for 43%. For the Mid-Atlantic Christian Mustangs, leading scorer right now is Noah Richardson Keys along with Jalen Jones. We saw Jalen Jones come in and quickly drain 2 3-point buckets. They've only turned the ball over so far just 1 time. They've ripped down 10 rebounds so far in the first 8.5 minutes of the basketball game. Gators moving the ball around the perimeter. As we saw early on, they had a hard time being able to penetrate that matchup zone of the Mustangs, but the Mustangs have since gone to a man-to-man defense, which does give more opportunities for you to take your man off the dribble one-on-one to get a high percentage shot. Gators. Here's Majette. Shot no good. Rebound pulled down by Richardson Keys. So Lambert will reset things for the Mustangs offensively as the Gators settle back into a matchup zone on defense. That shot swatted by Reed. Back up the Gators with Harris. I don't know if that basketball was poked away or if Brevard just lost it, but it leads to a foul call. And that foul call will go on Brevard. So Brevard quickly picks up his second personal foul. That is the team's third, as Coach Moore will counter with Keyshawn Johnson. And that'll send Brevard to the bench. Mustangs 15, Gators 13. We're now under 10.5 minutes left to play in the first half. Again, thrilled that you can join us. This has been some really good tournament basketball. Not so much right there as the Mustangs with the errant pass. That leads to a fast break opportunity and a score on the other end for the Gators. Javion Majette, last season's league MVP. Long three-point attempt. Off the back of the rim, rebound secured by Johnson. So the Gators with an opportunity to take the lead. Only 2 lead changes so far in this basketball game as Harris unable to get the scoop layup to go, but he is bumped. So they're going to credit Noah Richardson Keys with that foul. His first personal foul, the team's second. I thought that one may have been on Jalen Jones, but my vantage point might have been skewed just a little bit. So That will send Jalen Jones to the free throw line to shoot two with an opportunity to give the Gators their lead, and he gets it.
Substitution into the Mustangs, number 10, Micah Colburn.
So Micah Colburn will send Noah Richardson Keys to the bench. Again, he has one personal foul so far. Micah Colburn yet to score in the game. As the second of two by Harris goes down. So the Gators now with a 17-15 lead. It's Colburn and Lambert. Colburn to the basket. This time his layup goes down. So Colburn gets on the scoreboard in the scoring column, his first two of the evening, and we're tied again, folks. 17-17, shade over 9 minutes remaining. Harris takes his man off the dribble easily, but loses the basketball on his way up and unable to complete the layup, which leads to a fast break run-out opportunity for the Mustangs. On the other end, Malik Totten able to bank it in for two. So surprisingly for Malik Totten, folks, those are his first 2 points of the basketball game. Inside, Reed. He misses with the left-hand layup. Back come the Mustangs quickly. Mustangs inside. Kick out to Lambert. That's a long three. So Jajur Lambert drains the three from the corner, and the Mustangs have pushed their lead up to 5, folks, 22-17 here at the Apprentice School Athletic Center. We are in the semifinal round of the New South Athletic Conference basketball tournament. Majette unable to connect. So instead, Jaquan Majette unable to connect also for three as we get a tie up on the floor, and they call a jump ball. Possession arrow is in favor of the Mustangs, so the basketball will stay on this end, but not before we take a timeout. Media timeout, that is the under 8-minute media timeout here at the Apprentice School Athletic Center. Right now your score, the Mustangs of Mid-Atlantic Christian University 22, the Gators from Virginia Peninsula Community College 17. And right now both teams, neither team has really been able to pull away from the other one so far. So you expect these teams to do a lot of feeling out of each other before they're able to settle into what they want to do. I know these teams have seen each other twice already this season, where Mid-Atlantic actually defeated the Gators by a score of 70-68. They beat them on the Gators' home floor, but then the Gators returned the favor by defeating the Mustangs on their home floor by a score of 79-70, and that was just about a week ago. So even though these teams just played each other, there's still going to be a little bit of, I don't know, anxiety and butterflies out there for both teams. But it looks like they're starting to settle down and really, really starting to settle into their offenses. So if you look at some of the stats, we're starting to see guys starting to pick up the scoring just a little bit, especially for VPCC. Jalen Harris with those free throws, he is now at 8 points on the scoreboard. Javion Majette currently has 5, while Keyshawn Johnson and Makai Reed have 2 apiece. VPCC is shooting 26%. They're 6 of 23, 3 of 9 from three-point land. While Mid-Atlantic Christian, they're shooting 45%. They are 9 of 20 from the field, 3 of 5 from three-point land. Mustangs now with a 5-point lead, 22-17. They have the basketball and a full shot clock. Hinton with the inbound. Finds Colburn. Three-point comes off to Majette. Now we have Jaquan Majette and Javion Majette, and yes, they are twins, just in case you're wondering. Harris being guarded by Lambert. Harris, baseline, layup, off the glass for two. That's what a man-to-man defense offers you offensively. You have an opportunity to take your man off the dribble for an easier shot at the basket as opposed to working against a zone. Here's Lambert as the Mustangs nurse a three-point lead. Kick out to Coburn. Rebound comes off to Majette. Gators run. But instead they circle back, pull it back out with Majette. He goes inside to Keyshawn Johnson, who is able to put back his own miss. So 22-21 Mustangs over the Gators as the Mustangs go back to work with Lambert. Jones works against a smaller player, but instead, his step back three, no good. We have a foul underneath. That foul underneath will go on Jaheim Hinton. That is his second personal foul and the team's third. Jalen Jones is going to take a seat to allow Jeremiah Dickerson to make his way into the ball game. And Jaheim Hinton with two fouls. He'll take a seat at the 5:58 mark of the first half. With the Mustangs currently leading by 1 point, 22-21. As Harris works it over the timeline to Majette. That feed tried to go inside to Keyshawn Johnson, but the pass went awry from Corey Moy. Here's Lambert. Mustangs holding tightly to a 1 point lead. Corner three. No good for Lambert. Harris clears a long rebound. Gators with an opportunity to go back up on the scoreboard. Loose ball was picked up by Jawan Majette, but he's fouled. So Talik Todd is going to pick up his first personal foul. That is the team's fourth, not first. So Jawan Majette will step to the line to shoot two. Clock currently stopped at 5:13. Gators with an opportunity to tie and take the lead on these free throw attempts. Gators with another opportunity. As Jawan Majette, yet to score in the basketball game, has another opportunity here to get himself into the scoring column. Still scoreless. So the Mustangs still holding to this tight 1 point lead as that shot is blocked by Corey Moy out of Smithfield. Here's Lambert to Cope, feed inside. Richardson Keys fighting. Unable to connect. Gators come away with a loose ball. Here's Harris. Nice feed on the run. Unable to convert, but we have a tie-up. And the possession arrow is in favor of the Gators, so the basketball will stay on this end. Shot clock at 20. Gators looking to take the lead. We've already had 4 lead changes in the basketball game. Harris. Plenty of time for the Gators on the shot clock. Feed goes inside, off the glass for two, is Keyshawn Johnson. Johnson now with 6 points in the ball game, and the Gators have taken the lead 23-22, 4:20 left in the first half. Mustangs able to get at the basket, but unable to convert was Jeremiah Dickerson, but he is fouled. So Jaquan Majette will pick up his first personal foul. That'll be the team's fourth. So Jeremiah Dickerson gets an opportunity once again at the free throw line. The last time he was there, he hit 1 of 2. He's now 1 of 3. Jalen Jones makes his way into the basketball game for the Mustangs. Make it 2 of 4 for Jeremiah Dickerson. So Dickerson so far, I believe his only points have come from the free throw line, if I'm not mistaken. I'll check that just to make for certain. As a rebound from that long three comes off. Loose ball taken by Richardson Keys. Mustangs and Gators tied 23-23. Mustangs able to knife to the basket, but unable to convert was Talik Totten. And we're going to get a timeout here, folks. That is the under 4-minute media timeout, 3:34 remaining in the first half of action, and we are tied. So if you're each coach, you're not upset with whether you are in the basketball game, but you're still wondering, okay, when are we going to hit our stride, start putting together some makes on offense and some stops on defense? Right now, neither team has really been able to pull away from another. But when you get to this point in a basketball tournament, that's when some of your better teams start to play your better teams. So victories aren't going to look as easy as they did in the regular season when some of your stronger teams play some of their weaker opponents in the conference. But these are two evenly matched, well-coached teams. So we expect this to be nip and tuck all the way down to 0-0 on the scoreboard. So again, right now the leading scorer for the Mustangs is Noah Richardson Keys. Him and Jalen Jones, they both have 6, and I told you earlier, Jalen Jones hit 2 3-point shots around about the first 2 minutes he was in the basketball game, and he hasn't scored since. So right now with some of your other stats, again, we've had 5 lead changes in the basketball game. A lot of your stats are right around the same. They're really close. Bench points, Mid-Atlantic has 9, while VPCC doesn't have any points from their bench. Shooting percentage is dead even, 31% in the basketball game. VPCC 9 of 29, and Mid-Atlantic Christian 9 of 29 shooting. Wow. Jalen Harris gets his instructions, gets instructions from Coach Christopher Moore. Here's Majette. Nice job of banking it high off the glass for 2. The Gators now have the lead, 25-23 over the Mustangs. Again, Gators coming into this game, they are the number 3 seed in the New South Athletic Conference, while the Mustangs are the 2 seed. Trying to feed the basketball inside to Dickerson, but there's going to be a foul call. So Curry Moy picks up his first personal foul. That'll be the team's 5th. So I think the officials are asking for a reset to the clock. I'm not sure what that was, but basketball is back in play. That is not a backcourt violation. Totten has been really quiet in this basketball game for the Mustangs as that long rebound comes off, and there's going to be a foul call underneath. So they call it on Jalen Jones, his first personal foul, and the team's 5th. So 2:44 remaining in the first half. Gators looking to add to their lead. Gators' largest lead in the basketball game is what it is currently, 2 points, and they have an opportunity to add to it. Nice feed inside to the cutting Javion Majette, who lays it in for a soft two. And now the Gators with a 4-point lead, their largest lead of the evening, 27-23 over the Mustangs, as Colburn able to do everything right by getting the basketball to the rim, but unable to finish. Loose ball was last touched by a Gator, so it's going to remain Mustang basketball. Jones, harassed, foul. How in the world did he muscle that up? Did that count? It has to. So count the basket. That foul is going to go on Keyshawn Johnson, his first personal foul, the team 6. How in the world was Jalen Jones able to muscle that basketball up into the rim? I will never know, because it actually got slapped out of his hand, rolled down his body to around his waist. He was able to get it back all while he was in midair and just throw it up at the rim, and the thing went in. So he completes the three-point play, and that pulls the Mustangs within one with just under 2 minutes left in the first half. Majette, feed inside to Harris. Another feed inside to Keyshawn Johnson. Nice job of ball movement there by the Gators. Gator lead back up to 3, 29-26. As you can hear, the fans starting to come alive here. It's the defense being shown by the Gators. A lot of energy being shown by both teams. Jones tries to take Keyshawn Johnson off the dribble, and Johnson commits the foul. So that'll be his second and the team's 7th. So that now puts the Mustangs in the bonus as Makai Reed is going to replace Keyshawn Johnson, and Jajon Lambert is going to, Jajor Lambert is going to replace Michael Colburn. So here's Jalen Jones. Back irons the first of 2, but there for the putback is Richardson Keys. So Richardson Keys now has 8 in the basketball game. Gators with a 1-point lead, 29-28. As we're about to go under 1 minute left in the first half. Harris, long 3, off the front of the rim. Richardson Keys thought about it, but backed it out. Shot clock at 18, game clock at 40 seconds. As Harris able to poke it away. Harris, alley-oop, but unable to finish the dunk is Corey Moy, but the Gators get the loose ball. Kick in the corner. Shot clock at 11. That 3 comes off. Gators get an opportunity to hold for the final shot of the half, so Harris pulls it out. Harris will start to make his move at 8, 7, 6. Will they get off a decent shot? Harris tries to take his man off the dribble, quickly finds Majette for 3. Shot no good, but just before the whistle, I think there was a foul call. So the foul call is going to go on Jalen Jones. So for Jalen Jones, that is his. Wait a minute. So the officials are going to sort this out. Now the call was off the rebound. The official. So the foul is going to go on Jalen Jones, his second. He fouled Corey Moy. So he said that Corey Moy is going to shoot the 1-1, but the Mustangs are not in the bonus. I'm not really sure because that's only the 16th foul. So unless they called a, okay, it wasn't a technical, but that's only the 16th foul. So they're not in the bonus yet. The official comes over. So it's okay. So they clean it up. So instead of there being foul shots, because that's only the 16th foul of the Mustangs, they put .2 back on the clock and award the Gators the basketball to throw it in, which is correct. So good job by the officials to make sure they got the call correct as Lambert swats it out of bounds, and that is where and how the first half is going to end here. Semifinal round of the New South Athletic Conference Tournament as the Gators from Virginia Peninsula Community College will take a 1-point lead into the halftime locker room, 29-28 over the Mid-Atlantic Christian University Mustangs here at the Apprentice School Athletic Center. So as these teams step away, we will also step away. We'll be back for second half action and first half stats here on the broadcast. So don't go away, folks. It's halftime here. We will be back. are winding down. Halftime here at the Apprentice School Athletic Center. Semifinal action of the New South Athletic Conference basketball tournament here in Newport News, Virginia. Once again, so glad you can come back with us for the second half. As we look at some of the closing stats for the first half, this is crazy, but they are eerily similar to one another. Leading scorer for the Gators, Jalen Harris, he has 10 points, while the leading scorer for the Mustangs is Jalen Jones. He has 9 points. Turnovers for each team, they're the same, 4 apiece. Rebounding, the Gators total rebounds 25, the Mustangs total rebounds 23. Each team were almost similar with the offensive rebounds. Gators with 9, Mustangs with 8. Defensive rebounds, Gators with 16, Mustangs with 15. Both teams shot exactly 33.3% from the field. Gators were 12 of 36, while the Mustangs were 11 of 33. So our score is Gators 29, Mustangs 28. So again, the stats tell you exactly why the score is what it is. One of the biggest things that's surprising in this basketball game is the play or the scoring of Talik Totten. Talik Totten comes into this basketball game first team all-conference for the Mustangs. He only has 2 points. He's only attempted 5 shots in the whole game. So if you are Coach Charles Sims, you've got to figure out a way to get Talik Totten going. He has been quiet in the basketball game. We have 20 more minutes left to play to see who will be joining the Apprentice School Builders in the championship game tomorrow night here at the Apprentice School Athletic Center. So both championship games will take place here as the men and the women will look to see who will be crowned tournament champion for the 2022-2023 New South Athletic Conference. Colburn gets us started for the Mustangs. Feed goes inside, shot up and good for Jaheim Hinton. So Hinton pours in his 4th point of the evening. And the Mustangs are back on top by 1, 30-29. Here's Harris. Harris put up 10 points. Feed goes back inside. Nice job of passing right there to get Makai Reed open for the easy 2. So the Gators take the lead again, 31-30, as the defensive pressure gets turned up just a little bit by the Gators. That shot heavily contested by Keyshawn. Here's Harris. Feed to Reed. Reed off the glass for 2. And the Gators come back and add to their lead. They are now leading by 33-30. So on both offensive possessions, Totten has not touched the basketball. Mustangs turn it over. Harris. His corner 3 no good, but Reed there for the offensive board. Another corner 3 comes off as a miss. Richardson Keys got trapped, so we bounced it off of Harris out of bounds. So the basketball will stay with the Mustangs. Mustangs trail 33-30. Colbert being guarded by Majette. Tries to split the double team. So the basketball will stay on this end. Shot clock at 15. So plenty of time on the shot clock for the Mustangs to get themselves in position for a decent shot as Totten finally touches the basketball. But Javion Majette wasn't having any of that. Here's Hinton. Lots of activity underneath, but Hinton comes away with the basket. As Hinton loses a tire. Gators go to work on the other end as Keyshawn Johnson is fouled. So one of the Mustang players is down, but he is up. Looks like he may have taken a shot to the face. So Richardson Keys is going to be whistled for the foul. That is his first personal foul, the team's first. So Keyshawn Johnson goes to the line. He'll shoot two with an opportunity to add to the 1-point lead the Gators currently own at the moment. And he drains it. So 34-32 Gators with a one-basket lead. Johnson back irons the second of two. Mustangs back quickly. Keyshawn Johnson with the block of Jalen Jones. But Keyshawn Johnson is going to be whistled with his third personal foul. So that'll be his third, the team's first. So Jalen Jones gets an opportunity to score the basketball with the clock stopped at 17:33. Mustangs trailing by 2. As Jalen Jones hits his 10th point. So here comes Corey Moy. That's going to send Keyshawn Johnson to the bench. Again, he has 3 personal fouls. Jalen Jones back irons the second of 2. Gators quickly down court as Majette wasn't altogether sure what he wanted to do with the basketball. So instead of turning it over, he just passed it. As Majette works against Colbert. Majette. Shot up and good. Gators now with a 3-point lead, 36-33. This has kind of been the way this game is going all night. Neither team has really been able to build a sizable lead on the other. The Mustangs have led by as many as 5. That's the feed inside to Totten, and he's fouled. The Gators have led by as many as 4. Jalen Harris is going to be whistled for that personal. That'll be his first. It'll be the team's second. Totten was fouled in the active shooting, so he will step to the line to try and shoot 2 and pull the Mustangs within 1. As it's actually the official that mops up the playing surface. You don't see that often. So again, Talik Totten, who was first team all-conference, has been relatively quiet tonight. That is just his 3rd point of the evening. Making his 4th as a left-hander hits both. So 36-35. Brevard works against the defense as Harris thought about it and goes. Being guarded by a taller player in Jaheim Hinton, wasn't able to solve him defensively, and the Gators turned it over. Hale has the basketball stripped. Here comes Majette. Majette with the feed to Harris, so Harris pulls it back out and resets the offense. Hinton able to use his size to alter Majette's shot. It comes up short. That long 3-point attempt out of the corner by Harris is no good, so that's another shot opportunity at the rim. for the Gators. 10 seconds on the shot clock now. Reed with the screen. Shot clock at 3, 2, 1. Reed, good if it goes, and it's good. So the Gators use the entire shot clock. Great defense by the Mustangs, but even better offense by the Gators led to that too, as the Gators lead was 3, but not anymore, as Talik Totten looks like he may be showing signs of life as he drains that 3. We're now tied 38, feed inside to Reed, no good. Jones with the offensive board. Totten attacking the basket, scores, no foul, and just like that, Totten has 9. You were wondering when it was going to happen, and you can see Totten starting to play with some energy and some passion, but he does go in. He may have committed that foul. We'll see who the official gives the whistle to. They're going to give it to Jeremiah Dickerson, so he'll pick up his first personal foul in the team's second, and we're going to get a timeout. Media timeout, the under-16 timeout in the basketball game, as the Mustangs now lead the Gators by a score of 40-38. And as we mentioned prior to coming into the second half, we noticed that the stat line between the Gators and the Mustangs were virtually identical, which is why the Gators went into the locker room with a 1-point advantage, 29-28. When I looked at the stats, I noticed that Talik Totten had only scored 2 points the entire way. Now, this is someone who was first team all-conference, and he didn't get there by scoring 2 points a game. But he's since come alive and has scored 7 second-half points, and you can see his energy level and his effort really skyrocket. So 14-36 is where we currently stand. Jalen Jones still is the leading scorer on the floor. For the Mustangs, he has 10, while Jalen Jones also has 10 for the Gators. Shooting percentages, again, still around the same, 37% for the Mustangs, 35% for the Gators. So we are out of the media timeout. Gator basketball, 20 seconds on the shot clock. Majette with the inbound, working against Hinton. Brevard at 10, working against Dickerson. Kick to Reed. Shot clock now at 4-3. Turnover by the Gators. Here's Hinton. Hinton to Colburn. Colburn yet to score in the contest. Actually, Colburn has 1 basket. He has 2 points. I apologize. Loose ball tapped around. Gators come away with it. Shot up off the glass. Count the basket at the foul. So that foul call is on Jalen Jones, his 3rd personal foul and the team's 3rd. And Jajur Lambert will make his way into the basketball game, and making his way to the free throw line will be Javion Majette, who will try to see if he can complete the 3-point play and give the Gators a 1-point lead. Richardson Keys will also make his way onto the floor for Jalen Jones. Jalen Jones will have a seat. He has 3 personal fouls. So Javion Majette currently has 11 points in the game. And he drains that one. That gives him now 12 in the contest. And the Gators have a 1-point lead. Feed goes inside to Dickerson. Dickerson uses the shoulder to get just enough separation between him and the defender for him to go up and lay it in for 2. 42-41 Mustangs. This one has been absolutely everything you expected it to be between a number 2 and a number 3 seed in the tournament. Reed inside has his shot blocked, but Richardson Keys is going to pick up the foul. So for Richardson Keys, that is his 3rd personal foul. There's 13:09 left in the basketball game. So I don't see Coach Charles Sims making a move to bring someone in to sub for Richardson Keys. So he's going to stay on the floor as the Gators with Micah Reed look to try to take the lead. They won't do it with this trip to the line as the first of 2 comes off. Gators with an opportunity to tie things up at 42 on a made free throw here, and they do that. Mustangs turn it over. So Brevard will set up the offense for Coach Christopher Moore and his Gators. Here's Majette for 3. Rebound comes off to the Mustangs. Here's Totten. Totten loses the handle, and that's going to be a turnover on the Mustangs, to the delight of the Gator contingent that's here to cheer on their basketball team in this semifinal round of the New South Athletic Conference basketball tournament. 12:41 remaining. We're tied at 42 apiece as Brevard works against Lambert. Here's Majette off of a screen. Able to knife through the defense, get to the basket, but just unable to complete. As Richardson Keys, crowd was looking for a foul on Richardson Keys. Instead, that drive to the basket led to a foul on Jaquan Majette, which is his 2nd personal foul and the team's 3rd of the half. So here's Nolan Richardson Keys with an opportunity to give the Mustangs the lead once again. So they'll look to do that on the next free throw attempt. Keys right now with 8 points in the basketball game, looking for his 9th. And he gets it, and he gives the Mustangs a 1-point lead. Brevard back quickly before he could give the Mustangs an opportunity to set up defensively. Got a good shot at the rim, but just unable to handle it. So the basketball goes out of bounds, and it will be Mustang basketball. Looks like we have about a 50-50 contingent of fans here at this basketball game. Half of them are for the Gators, the other half are for the Mustangs. You love to see that. As Coach Charles Sims calls a timeout, he saw Lambert got himself trapped on that possession. So instead of a timeout, that's going to be a media timeout. Instead of a call timeout by the Mustangs, they'll change it to a media timeout. So this will be the under 12 media timeout, and we are right around where we were at halftime. A 1-point game between the Gators and the Mustangs. When we went into the half, it was the Gators that were up 29-28. Now it's the Mustangs that are up 43-42. This has been one of the closest games I've seen in any of the games that have been played in this tournament. And like I said, these teams know each other very, very well. This is their 3rd time playing this season. They split the season series 1-1, each team winning on the other team's home court. So this is now a neutral site ball game, and it's like, I don't know. It's exactly what, look, as a tournament organizer, these are the type of games that you want to see. So 43-42, 12:01 left in the basketball game to determine who will make it to the championship game tomorrow evening to take on the apprentice school builders for the right to call themselves tournament champions. Here's Lambert. Skip pass to Totten, but it goes inside to Hinton, who has his shot turned away. Here's Brevard. Coast to coast. Left-handed layup. Not there. Here come the Gators with Hinton. Went right at the defense. No foul call. Hinton late getting back on defense, which means the Gators have the numbers. That one was last touched by Reed. Unless they're going to call a foul, I'm not sure. So they are. They're going to call a foul call over the back on the rebound. Is going to go on Makai Reed. That is his first personal foul and the team's first as we have another timeout. Now, I thought the last timeout was a under 12 timeout, but I guess this one is another media timeout, so 11:22. Neither team really having to spend a lot of their timeouts in the basketball game because of the media timeouts. So you give your team an opportunity to refresh themselves in the media timeouts and also get coached up on what the strategy is coming out of the timeout. So we saw Talik Totten go into the halftime locker room having only scored one basket the entire way, but come out and quickly put up 7 points. So will he be the X factor going down the stretch for the Mustangs? We'll see. As the lead currently sits at 1, Mustangs 43, Gators 42. Stat sheet still hasn't changed much. Both teams shooting in the 30 percentile. Both teams shooting about the same from 3. Mustangs shooting about 58%, while the Gators are shooting 55% from 3. Gators are 3 of 18 from the three-point line, while the Mustangs are 4 of 12. So neither team particularly lighting things up from 3. It's just been a hard-nosed basketball game where each team really is working hard to get the ball near the basket on every shot. So the Mustangs inbound. Mustangs with a 1-point lead as Lambert works off of a screen. Lambert. His scoop layup no good. Lots of traffic on the inside, but the Gators come away with the loose ball with Brevard. Johnson has a shot blocked by Hinton, but the Gators save it and they get a new shot clock. Here's Richardson Keys. Keys with the kick and the offensive foul. Player control foul on Jaheim Hinton for Jaheim Hinton. That will be his 3rd personal foul of the basketball game, the team's 5th.
Offensive foul charge to number 23, Dylan Richardson Keys. That's his 4th. Team 5th. Substitution into the game for the Mustangs, number 10, Michael Colburn.
So Michael Colburn will give Noah Richardson Keys an opportunity to head to the bench. Mustangs still holding to a 43-42 lead. Neither team has scored the basketball here in the last few possessions. Gators with an opportunity to go on top. But you hear Coach Charles Sims of the Mustangs giving defensive instructions to his ball club. Shot clock now under 10. As they call a jump ball situation. So the basketball will stay on this end with the Gators, but the shot clock will not reset. So the Gators must be aware of the fact there's only 6 seconds on the shot clock. They're able to inbound to Brevard. His step-through jumper no good, and he's fouled.
Mustang foul number 12, Jeremiah Dickerson.
So that bailout foul comes courtesy of Jeremiah Dickerson, his second personal foul, and the team's sixth. So that will put Quashawn Brevard at the free throw line. Brevard, I don't think Brevard has scored in the basketball game. He has not. So he's looking for his first points, and he's still fruitless on the scoreboard. Can Brevard get on the scoreboard here? Yes, he can. So we're all tied up, 43-43, 10 minutes left to decide who will have an opportunity to play for a conference championship as the basketball is turned over. There have been 9 lead changes in this basketball game so far. Keyshawn Johnson makes it 10. 45-43, Gators over the Mustangs as we're close to about 9.5 minutes left in the game as Lambert being guarded by Green. Here's Hinton. His jumper from the free throw line comes off to Green. Green being guarded by Totten. Totten turns him over. So can Totten kickstart the engine once again for the Mustangs? Here's Richardson working and scoring. I'm sorry, that's Dickerson, I apologize. So Jeremiah Dickerson throws in his 6th point of the evening. And we're tied once again. So we've already had 10 lead changes. Gators working around the perimeter, shot clock now at 10. It was Brevard with the blow by and the late whistle.
Mustang foul number 1, Jaheim Hinton. That's his 3rd, team 7.
So that foul will go on Jaheim Hinton. Now wait, is that his 3rd or his 4th? I have him for 3 before that foul, Hinton. So you say Hinton only has 3, but it'll be the team's 7th. I missed something somewhere. As Brevard gets his first point of the evening. Comes at the 8:27 mark of the second half. And that gives the Gators now a 1-point lead, 46-45. And he makes the second of 2. So 47-45, 2-point lead now for the Gators as Colburn is harassed in the backcourt. But Colburn able to break the press. Here's Lambert. And Lambert is fouled. That foul is going to go on Brevard. So for Brevard, that is his 3rd personal foul, the team's 5th. So here's Lambert. Lambert scores his 4th point of the evening. And that makes it 47-46. Gators over the Mustangs. The way these teams are playing one another, there's a possibility that the deciding point in this basketball game may be played by the person that has the basketball last in this contest. I mean, it has been tight, especially in the second half. We're now tied again as Lambert drains the second of 2. Mustangs nearly turned the Gators over here on this end of the court. Brevard to Johnson, but Reed is there. Harris misses the three. Lambert comes away with the rebound. Totten, who sits going quiet after coming out and scoring 7 points in the early part of the second half, has just gone quiet as Lambert step back jumper rattles around and goes in. So the Mustangs take the lead. That is the 11th lead change in the basketball game. 49-47 Mustangs from Mid-Atlantic Christian University over the Gators. Green, bumped by Lambert, no call, but Green scores anyway. So we're tied once again. Lambert. As the pace of the basketball game has really picked up, both teams feeling the urgency as we're now getting late into the basketball game, and that's going to be a player control foul. So that is going to be on Jaheim Hinton. That is his 4th personal foul on the 6'5" sophomore. So we're going to have a stoppage in play. A timeout, media timeout. Both teams tied. 49-49. We're just under 7 minutes left to play in this basketball game. And of these two teams, who is going to be the team to advance to the conference finals tomorrow for an opportunity to take down the number one tournament seed in the Apprentice School Builders for the right to call themselves the New South Athletic Conference basketball champions for 2022-2023. Again, the way these teams have played one another throughout the evening, like I said a couple of minutes ago, folks, this may come down to who has the final shot in the game. And boy, what a fantastic finish that has potential to be. Both teams brought a really nice, energetic contingent of fans to this basketball game. I think the fan base in this arena is split right down the middle, about 50-50, Gator and Mustang fans. Gators brought their mascot, they even brought cheerleaders. You may have heard them cheering in the background during the broadcast, or maybe I've been talking so much that you can't hear anything but my beautiful melodic voice. 49-49, 6:54 left. Gators able to break the press, set up their offense with 22 seconds left on the shot clock. Reed with the feed inside to Green. Tough shot. As Green took it right at the chest of Jeremiah Hinton. And what he did with that, he forced Hinton to have to make a decision. Am I going to defend, possibly pick up a foul, and be disqualified with my 5th foul, or will I allow Green to score? Hinton made the business decision. Lambert able to split the defense, but unable to finish. We get a foul underneath. That's going to go on Talik Todd. That's his 3rd. Now, is that? I'm sorry, that is his 2nd. I apologize. That is his 2nd personal foul. That's the team's 9th for the Mustangs. So one more foul, and that will put the Gators in the double bonus for the remainder of the game. Jalen Jones back into the basketball game for the Mustangs, as the Gators look to add to their 2-point lead, and they do. So 52-49. Number 3 seed over the number 2 seed. (53-49) now. Things starting to get a little tight here. Here's Colvin. Totten turns it over. Reed able to track down the loose ball, and back come the Gators with a currently a 4-point lead. Harris tried to get it to Johnson, but instead it's a turnover. Lambert. Three comes down, goes out. Totten is fouled, but unable to hit the shot. So Makai Reed will pick up his second personal foul. That'll be the team's sixth. So at the 5.5-minute mark of the second half, Mustangs aren't in the bonus just yet, but Totten will get a chance to shoot two. As he adds to his point total, he has 10 now. With that free throw make, the Mustangs pull within three, 53-50. Richardson Keys back onto the floor for the Mustangs as Totten hits them both. So one basket separates these teams, 53-51. Again, that's the way this evening has gone in this basketball game. Neither team has just really been able to pull away from the other one. Mid-Atlantic's largest lead has been 5. That that 2-point shot is missed. Colbert back the other way with Dickerson, who lays it in for two, and we are tied again. Wow, this has been fun. We're now under 5 minutes remaining. Johnson harassed. His layup from underneath the basket goes down, so count the basket at the foul. That foul will go on Jalen Jones. That'll be his fourth. So Jalen Jones right now with 10 points in the basketball game and 4 fouls. So we're starting to see the Mustangs getting themselves in a little bit of foul trouble. We know that Jaheim Hinton has 4. He's on the bench at the moment. Jalen Jones has 4. As Keyshawn Johnson completes a 3-point play that gives the Gators a 3-point lead, 56-53. Colbert has the ball stripped. Last touch by the Gators. So as we get deeper and deeper into this basketball game, each possession becomes that much more precious and valuable. It's Totten. Gives off to Jones, who nails the pressure. 3-point shot right in the face of Keyshawn Johnson. And we are knotted up at 56 one more time. Reed able to get to the basket for 2. 58-56 now Gators. 4 minutes left. Richardson Keys has his shot turned away. Green with a kick to the jet, off the glass for 2, and the Gators are now back up by 4. 60-56. Mustangs hold on to their timeout. Jones goes to work against Reed, and they turn it over. Green misses the layup. Who's it last touched by? It was last touched by the Gators, so it goes right back to the Mustangs. And we're going to get a timeout. Media timeout. That's going to give everyone an opportunity in the arena to relax every body part right now, because right now a few things are probably puckered up by quite a few people here, as everybody was anticipating Jalen Green laying that breakaway layup in for 2, and instead it rimmed around and came off, and then it was last touched by a Gator. Wow, 3:27 left in this one. Boy, oh boy, at the end of the night, I am going to be exhausted after the call of this game as the Mustangs and Gators fight it out to see who is going to make it into the championship game tomorrow to take on the #1 seed, Apprentice School Builders, for the right to call themselves champions of the New South Athletic Conference basketball tournament. And wow, this one has been pretty doggone good. There have been 12 lead changes in this ball game. There's still 3:27 left. I'm not gonna sit here and say that there won't be another 2 or 3 before we finally go to a final on this game. Gators have been pretty even with their scoring in the basketball game. They currently have 4 players who are on the floor right now who scored in double digits. Mustangs have 2. Green nearly turned Colburn over in the backcourt. Mustangs with plenty of time on the shot clock as Colburn just threw up a shot. They say it was last touch and went off Hinton. So the basketball will go over to the Gators. Gators with a 4-point lead. I'm sure if Colburn had an opportunity to get that one back, he would take that one because he pulled that 3-point shot with about 20 seconds left on the shot clock, so there was plenty of time to continue to work through your offensive set. Reed looks, finds Brevard. 10 seconds now on the shot clock with Brevard, who's only scored 2 points in the basketball game. Both of those came from the free throw line, and he's fouled. So Jeremiah Dickerson is going to be whistled for his 3rd, and he's in disbelief. But if you're Dickerson, you have to give the shooter an area to land after the shot. Dickerson was in a little bit too tight. Brevard went down, so Brevard will go back to the line. So I'm sorry, I said Brevard had 2. He only has 3, and all of those have come from the free throw line. He now has 4. Gators now with a 5-point lead. This is now their biggest lead of the evening. It was 4. It's now at 5. Foul starting to mount a little bit for Coach Sims and his Mustang basketball team as Hinton has 4, and the second of 2 by Brevard goes down. Dickerson now has 3. Richardson Keys has 3, and Jalen Jones has 4. So Lambert and the Mustangs with a 6-point deficit. Here's Colburn. Feed inside to Dickerson. Loose ball gathered by Lambert and put in for 2. 4-point lead now. 62-58. We're now down to about 2 minutes left in this basketball game as Brevard attacks the basket and scores. So the lead is back up to 6 as Brevard forces the turnover for the Gators. Here's Majette. Majette all the way to the basket, but he commits the offensive foul. So that'll be a player control foul on Majette. So for Majette, that is his second personal foul, the team's 7th. So that'll put the Mustangs in the bonus, so they'll be shooting the 1-and-1 for the final 1:45 as Cole goes all the way down court for the left-handed layup, and that trims the Gator lead to 4. About 1.5 left. Gators settle back into their defense. I'm sorry, not the Gators, the Mustangs settle back in their defense. Screen. Here's Brevard. The smaller player on him, Lambert, defending. Here's Reed. Back to Johnson for the layup. And that pushes the Gator lead back up to 6. We're now down under 1 minute remaining as the Mustangs try to get it inside, but they turn it over. Here's Brevard. Brevard missed it. Nice job by Colburn on defense to fake like he was going to take the charge, but moved out of the way at the last moment, and that adjusted the shot. But back come the Gators. Alley-oop tipped away by Colburn. We're now at 33.3 seconds left. So what do you do if you coach Sims? Do you start to play the foul game because you are down by 2 possessions? So sitting back playing defense with only 33.3 seconds is not going to help your ball club. Scoring the basketball while the clock is stopped is going to do that. So a full timeout taken by the Gators. So if you're the Gators and Coach Christopher Moore, your goal is to get your best free throw shooters on the floor for the final 33.3. If you're Coach Charles Sims, you got to start playing the foul game. You have to foul immediately, even foul prior to the inbound, because you're already in the double bonus. So you may as well start fouling to see if you can extend this 33.3 seconds. Because right now what they need is possessions, and they need opportunities to score the basketball with the clock stopped. Now the Gators are in the bonus. They've committed 17 fouls. So if you are the Mustangs, if you can somehow force a turnover or try to send them to the line and maybe they miss 2 or make one of the 2, on the other end down the court, they're not going to foul because they're already in the bonus. So the last thing the Gators will want to do is foul the Mustangs, stop the clock, and give them an opportunity to score. So the Mustangs, if they aren't able to get a turnover on the inbound, they have to foul immediately. They didn't get it, they have to foul. They don't do that, and they give it the 2s. And that's probably going to do it. Gators now with an 8-point lead, 68-60, 23 seconds left in the ball game. Totten tries to get some separation for a 3, and he drains it. So that makes it now a 5-point game. Gators 68, Mustangs 63. But that leaves only 17.2 seconds left in the basketball game as we're going to get a full timeout by Coach Charles Sims. Coach Charles Sims, again, in his first season at the helm for the Mustangs. Coach out of Virginia Beach, Virginia, so he's a nearby product. His team 12-10 on the regular season. They went 6-3 in conference play. But right now they are in danger of their New South Athletic Conference season coming to an end in the semifinal round of the men's basketball tournament. So strategy-wise, well, what is it that Coach Sims can do right now with 17.2? I mean, the only thing he can do, again, is try to extend the time that's left on the scoreboard by fouling immediately. And I'm not really sure if the message was clear to everyone on that last possession by the Gators. If you're the Mustangs, if you don't get a steal on the inbound, you foul right away. But they allowed a few seconds to tick off before Colburn tried to come over and commit the foul. Gators were able to find a couple of guys open for passes, which eventually resulted in a dunk for Makai Reed. Gators were able to come back down court and score, but it took them a while. And it only left 17.2 ticks on the clock. So again, if you're the Mustangs, if you don't get a steal on the inbound, you have to foul right away. And they don't do it. Here's Green with 13 seconds on the clock. Totten fouls him. So for Totten, that's his 3rd personal foul. So Green gets an opportunity to go to the line. With the Gators up by 2 possessions, he makes both of these. That's pretty much academic. He makes the first. Still a 2-possession ball game. 6 points as Keyshawn Johnson makes his way onto the floor for the final 13.6 seconds. If Green sinks this one, it's over. And the Gators will advance to the championship game tomorrow to take on the Apprentice School Builders, the #1 seed in the tournament. And the Builders will look to become conference champions on their home floor, as the Mustangs won't be able to create enough time and opportunities to come back in this one, as the rebound comes off the green. We're down to 6-5 for Christopher Moore in his 4th season at the helm. Will get an opportunity to go back to the championship game and an opportunity to defend their conference championship they won last season against the #1 seed Apprentice School Builders right here at the Apprentice School Athletic Center. Folks, your final score: the Virginia Peninsula Community College Gators 70, the Mid-Atlantic Christian University Mustangs 63, and that game was everything you wanted a semifinal in a men's basketball tournament to be. It was nip and tuck all the way down until the Gators finally put together a couple of stops and a couple of makes to pull away right there at the end of the game. That was a nice one to watch. So we're going to put a pin in it here, and we'll be back tomorrow for the conference championship for both the men and the women of the New South Athletic Conference. So again, your final score: the Gators of Virginia Peninsula Community College 7, the Mustangs of Mid-Atlantic Christian University 63. So for Dave Davenport, I am Howard McCain. We're going to say so long. We'll see you tomorrow to see who walks away with the title of conference champion here at the Apprentice School Athletic Center. And folks, until then, remember, this is always Builder Basketball.